Hello, you guys, and welcome back to Mystical Visions. So, in today's video, we're taking a look at the AKASHIC Records. Now, if you're not familiar with it, it is said to be this kind of book of records that contains all the information about everything that has happened and everything that is about to happen. It's like this infinite library of infinite possibilities. It has it all. And today we're going to try and access it and see what the Akashic Records have to say about your purpose. So, as always, I have 3 piles today. For pile number 1, we have this beautiful carnelian. For pile 2, we have a sodalite crystal. And for pile 3, we have garnet. So we'll take a look at your overall soul's purpose, your purpose in this lifetime, as well as some gifts that you bring with you and some advice on how you can fulfill your purpose. So I'll give you guys a little bit of time with your cards, and timestamps are in the description. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps the channel out a lot. And I'll see you at your reading. Pile number 1. Hello, welcome to your Akashic Records reading about your soul's inner purpose. So if you picked this gorgeous carnelian stone, then this is your reading. So I've gone ahead and pre-shuffled some tarot and oracle cards, and with the tarot cards, we'll first take a look at your soul's overall purpose across time and space. Then we'll take a look at your soul's purpose in this particular lifetime. Then we'll look at some gifts that you come here with and some advice. We've got a fair few cards to walk through today, so let's go ahead and get started. So for your overall soul's purpose, the first card we have is the Ace of Cups. So I think as a soul, you are someone who brings a lot of love, a lot of emotional fulfillment into people's lives. And this is not just in this lifetime. I feel like this is your soul's pattern across several lifetimes on Earth or in other dimensions. You know, I think your soul was just created to bring the energy of new love, of vibrance, of emotional healing. I feel like your soul feels like a cold drink of water on a hot day. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from you. Yeah, with the Ace of Cups, it usually talks about new love coming in, new romance even. Maybe you have like a very romantic soul. Maybe you're someone who enjoys romance movies or romantic music, things like that. And I think that may be because it really speaks to like the very core of who you are. It's a beautiful, gentle energy. To clarify the Ace of Cups, we have the 5 of Cups in reverse. Yeah, you're definitely someone who sees the bright side, who sees love in any situation. With the 5 of Cups upright, we usually look at someone who has lost many things but can't see that there are still 2 cups standing up. So to have it in reverse kind of tells me that you're someone who only sees the 2 cups standing up. You might be almost obscenely optimistic. I've never used that phrase before, but you might be someone who is so optimistic that it actually bothers people. But that's just who you are, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with it. People just need to learn from you how to be obscenely optimistic. Yeah, I think this might be how you bring love into people's lives. Love is such a pure, beautiful energy, and there is so much warmth and kindness in you that you are able to almost shower people with. You might have very strong water placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. But yeah, I just think you're someone who deals in love and nothing else. That's sweet. Okay, so the next card we have is the Ten of Wands. Ooh, okay. You might... Okay, yeah, this is a heavy responsibility, part one, to constantly see the light in the darkest of situations. You know, people come into this world with some really scary situations, you know, they come into some really scary homes, places, families, that kind of thing. And, or they, you know, grow into scary situations. And to be able to look at these people, look at their lives and still see light there is a huge responsibility. It is definitely not something that is for everyone. And I do think your higher self, when they incarnate with this overall purpose, they might occasionally feel the burden of it all. They might occasionally feel the trauma of having to always be the happy-go-lucky person in any situation. And to clarify that, we have Judgment in reverse. I think your soul's purpose, or like pattern across lifetimes, might be something like going into spaces where you forget your connection with the divine, and you might see this yep, there is that confirmation bike. You might see this reflected in the patterns that you've lived through in this lifetime, where you go to such a dark place that you completely lose your connection with spirit, with the universe, with love. And then you gradually work your way back to it. And then once you've made your way back and reconnected, you then step into your true purpose of sharing it, of bringing that love, light energy into other people's lives as well. It's like a journey or like a cycle. You bring love, you feel burdened by it, you lose your connection to spirit, then you remember, oh, I still have 2 cups standing. You bring love, and then you feel burdened by it, and then it just rinse and repeat. That is so interesting. Pile number 1. So let's go ahead and see what your purpose is in this lifetime specifically. So for this, I've gone ahead and shuffled my Rider-Waite deck. The first card we have is is the Knight of Cups. Yeah, you bring messages of love. That's literally what the Knight of Cups is the knight that brings a cup full of love. It brings you opportunities to fall in love. And I think you might be that person in so many people's lives. That person who brings just the good vibes, man, the happiness, the joy, the emotional comfort. You might be someone that people rely on without even realizing they rely on you. And I think when you step away from them is when they realize what they're missing, the energy that's not there, that they didn't even realize was there, that they took for granted. Because you do have such a gentle energy, I feel like you flow into people's lives and then just as easily flow right out when you feel like you're not being recognized for what you bring to the table. I don't think you're someone who's like very, very angry or, you know, fiery or anything like that. Sure, you may have had your moments, but I don't think that's who you are to your core. I think you're a very gentle spirit. And when you come into people's lives, it's in a very kind, nurturing, soft way. And then you take it away just as easily, to the point where people don't realize it's gone until it's gone. So to clarify the Knight of Cups, we have the Three of Wands in reverse. Yeah, you might be someone who makes people feel at home, who makes people feel like this is all you need. Right here, right now is all you need. You might find it very easy to stay in the present moment, actually, to stay grounded, and also to like be a stable force in a lot of people's lives. You might bring a lot of calm and peace to a lot of people, where they don't feel the need to like look out or look outwards. You might introduce a lot of people to their inner world as well. Yeah, I think your purpose largely involves emotional growth of some sort. And in order to encourage it in other people, you need to go through it yourself. And I feel like you are very, very easily led down that path of emotional depth within yourself, about learning about your own inner world before you can get other people to look at theirs. Next, we have the Three of Coins or Pentacles. I think this mission, whatever your soul's purpose is in this life, might involve either other people, like physical human beings, or it could involve a lot of input from some spirit guides. You might be someone who ends up working in a group of light workers like that. Because the Three of Coins is collaborative energy. It's the joint ventures, that type of deal. I think within the next 3 years, actually, you might meet people who share this vision, this common purpose, and you might start to work with them rather than, doing it all alone. In fact, I think this might be new for your soul. This might be the first time that you significantly work with a group of people for this common mission, rather than doing it all yourself, like you are used to doing in all these previous lifetimes. Maybe that's why you felt all this burden, and then in this life, you might be able to share the work with like-minded people. You might finally get to enough of like a healed point where you feel comfortable sharing your mission with other people or working with other people. And to clarify this, we have the Four of Coins or Four of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, I do think this lifetime involves a lot of letting go. Do you know what's interesting? All of these cards are upright and all of these are reverse. It almost tells me that people kind of see you in a certain way, but they don't really understand the depths that are inside you, which makes sense, because it seems like the people that you work around or the people that you are meant to serve in this lifetime might not be the most introspective and might not be the kind that gives too much thought to important things like that, or like deep things like that. But anyway, the Four of Pentacles in reverse talks about letting go. You might, like I said, in these lifetimes so far, you've probably worked alone, probably under the assumption that if you have to do something, if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself. And I think in this lifetime, you are opening up to the idea of maybe I'm not my best self when I work alone. Maybe I can be better with other people. I'm hearing Age of Aquarius. It's that communal feeling. And that's probably why you chose to incarnate right now in this period of time where we are all starting to become more communal as a society, especially in the spiritual community. It's no longer about the individual. It's about, the group of us, the collective. That might be the main reason why you incarnated right now, actually, is so you can find like-minded souls and build a soul family. Your soul might be like a lone wolf type deal, and then now you're learning to let that go and step into a more collaborative energy. Fascinating. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at your oracle cards. So let's start by talking about your purpose. So let's start by talking about the gifts that you've come into this lifetime with. We have star ancestors, hidden wisdom, hidden secrets, lost wisdom. Look a little deeper. You might have a very, very strong spirit team. And I think they might be part of this collaborative effort. I do think you have very strong ancestors, be it from this lifetime or previous lifetimes. You have a very strong connection to ancestral wisdom. Let's put it like that. But it might be a little hidden from you right now. So part of your assignment in this lifetime might be to look a little deeper and see what's under the surface of your being. The other gift is Pillar of Light. Your vibration is rising. You are the Oracle. Yeah, part one, you are in the middle of an ascension right now, I think. And like I said, it might have to do with this cycle, but I do think you're breaking the cycle by finding your spirit family or creating a spirit family. But in either case, you are rising to a much higher vibration now than you have done in previous lifetimes. I don't see you as a super, super old soul. I don't think your soul has been incarnated very, very frequently. I think you might have spent a lot of your time in the spirit form, being people's guardian spirits, being people's ancestors, that kind of thing. Because I do think incarnating on this planet is, or has been, extremely challenging for you. And I think you would much rather be in the spirit world. But, when we come to this planet, it's not because it's a punishment. It's because it's, sure, there's challenges, but the most impactful way in which we can create change is through a physical incarnation. And so if your soul has chosen to be a human being, it's for a reason, right? So I think the thing to remember is you don't have to do it alone. Absolutely not. So let's go ahead and look at some animal spirit cards for advice. I have dropped one of your cards, 1 second. Oh, there we go. Sorry about my creaky chair. So the first card we have is the Panther Spirit in reverse. Reclaim your power. I was actually doing a reading yesterday and this card came out in reverse still. And yeah, I think you might feel a little powerless when you're going through this transition from being like a spirit to being a physical entity, which makes sense. There's lots of limitations and there's a lot of issues that go with being human. But I think part of your rising vibration, part of your ascension journey, is you learning to reclaim your power, is understanding that, yeah, the physical vessel might have limitations, but that does not mean your mind has any limit. It doesn't mean your soul has any limit. It's just a fun little challenge to work with rather than against. And your final card is the Wombat Spirit in reverse. Be at home. I actually want to read this one out of the book. So, number 68. Ooh, almost. In reverse. Yeah, that's the final card in the deck, actually. Wombat Spirit, protection message. Could it be that you're not feeling comfortable in your own skin, thinking that the only way you can be with others is to hide under the protection of a mask or identity you created? That was a loud horn. Yeah, I do think you might be hiding under the protection of a mask or identity you created to protect yourself from getting hurt. This mask is supposed to make you look strong, but it really just robs you of your integrity. It's okay though, you can course correct if you are willing to be yourself no matter what comes. Even if others are not in agreement with your authenticity, you are safe with spirit. So that's your reading about your inner purpose based on the Akashic Records, pile number 1. I hope this resonated. And if it did, then please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more readings. You can stick around to the outro for another reading on my channel. But for now, I thank you so much for spending some time with me, sharing your energy with me, allowing me to read for you. It's been wonderful. And I hope you have a wonderful day, night, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is for you. And yeah, stick around to the outro for another reading, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye. Pile number 2. Hello, welcome to your reading about your inner purpose according to the Akashic Records. So if you picked this absolutely gorgeous sodalite crystal, then you're in the right place. Hello. So I've gone ahead and pre-shuffled your cards, and the way this reading is going to work is first we'll take a look with these first 4 cards at your soul's overall purpose across several lifetimes, whether it be incarnations on Earth and other dimensions. We'll take a look at your overall soul's purpose. Then with these cards, we'll look at your soul's purpose in this lifetime. And then finally, we'll look at what gifts you've come into this lifetime with, and then some advice on how you can live out your purpose. So let's go ahead and get started with your overall soul purpose. The first card we have is the Page of Swords. Okay. I think you bring a very youthful sense of intellect. I mean, that's the literal understanding of the Page of Swords card. But I think, you know how sometimes children are so... They just say the most crazy but sensible thing. I think you might be that kind of a person who, you come up with the most innovative solutions to issues. You come up with the most creative ideas that no one would have even thought of. And I think a huge part of that is because that's just what your soul enjoys doing. You might be a big time problem solver. That might actually be like your work role or something, but you enjoy a good puzzle. I'll tell you that. You enjoy a good puzzle. And it's not like people would look at you and be like, oh, this person is wise beyond their years. No, you do still have this youthful, this, fun and frolicky, free energy, light-hearted, that kind of thing. But you still have this intelligence that it's so, your mind is so sharp, nothing can get past you. And because of that youthful energy, you're able to not only adapt, but also just, I don't even know how to put this into words. It's kind of like lightning bolts of ideas. You have so much creative potential, and that is by design, pile 2. And to clarify the Page of Swords, we have the 3 of Wands in reverse. This is the second time this card has come out in reverse in a different deck. Interesting. So with the 3 of Wands in reverse, your soul's big purpose is to be in the present moment. I get it. Okay. So, sorry. I just had like a whole bunch of information come in. Your soul enjoys staying in this youthful, exuberant energy because that's the energy that keeps people grounded in the present moment. It's like with children. Children are never, maybe you have children, I keep going back to that analogy. Children don't live in the past or the future. Children, at least, healthy, happy children who are not troubled by the world yet, tend to live in the present moment, and they will drag you into the present moment. And if you do have children, this, you might be preoccupied with, what you're going to do tomorrow, where is the money going to come from, this and that. And then your child comes in, and then immediately you're like, oh, right now is all that matters. Today, this moment, this place, that's the only thing I should be concerned with. Right? And I think you have that energy, and you may have forgotten it a little bit, and then your children will bring it back. I don't know. It's very, very, very powerful energy. Pile number 2. So, the next card we have is the 4 of Swords. Yeah. Okay, lots of air energy. You might have some heavy air placements. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. But the 4 of Swords is a card of like rest and relaxation. And okay, so I do think this intelligence, this kind of energy can put you in a bit of an anxious state, and has done across time and space, honestly. And part of your soul's journey in each life might be to recognize this stress that might lead you to burnout. You might have experienced burnout in this lifetime already, and you might have done in several lifetimes actually, where you learn the need for rest, for balance, for relaxation. Let's see what's clarifying the 4 of Swords is the Knight of Cups. Okay. I think I see a pattern. So what's interesting is I did not expect these first 4 cards to do like a cyclical thing, but it did this for group 1 and it's doing it for you. And essentially, I feel like I'm seeing the cycles that your soul goes through in every lifetime, where you come into this into whatever world, whatever body, whatever incarnation, with this youthful, powerful, intelligent energy, this, buzzing with creative potential. And then you burn out. And then you're forced to take a rest. And during that rest period, you start to work on your emotional well-being. You start to work on your spirituality, your soul, your very essence, reminding yourself why you're here. And then that you share with the people around you, cause healing to kind of radiate out from you, which helps people stay in the present moment. And that is what going through this healing journey and bringing other people to heal as well, then brings you back to this youthful, vibrant energy. Is there a leaf covering this card? I'm so sorry. This plant has a mind of its own. It comes back to this infinite potential energy. And then the cycle repeats. And I don't know if your soul necessarily wants or needs to break out of the cycle. I think you might be someone who enjoys the repetition. You might be someone who, maybe in this lifetime, for instance, you might enjoy watching the same movies over and over again, listening to the same music over and over again. And that's okay. It's not that you won't try new things. It's that you always come back to your old favorites. Interesting. So let's go ahead and see what your purpose is in this lifetime. So we have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. You're not, okay. Your purpose in this life is to try not to be rigid. It is to flow. It is to, okay, so you know how I said this is like very youthful energy, very childlike? One thing about children, and a lot of emotionally immature adults actually, is this need for stability, but in almost a toxic sense. Ooh, sorry. In almost like a toxic sense. And it sometimes comes off as being stubborn or set in your ways. And also sometimes just hyper independence, and hey, hello, fellow hyper independent person here. No shade. I'm calling us both out right now. Okay. But this sense of, if things are not naturally going to go my way, I will make them go my way. It can be great in the sense of it makes you an ambitious person. It makes you a wonderfully, motivated person. You don't need anyone to push you. You can push yourself to make the changes you need to make. However, on the flip side, it can make you a very isolated person. It can make you very rigid, very unaccepting of new ideas. And I think your growth journey in this lifetime might be achieving that emotional maturity that tells you, maybe I don't know exactly how things should be. Maybe I want things to be a certain way, but maybe the universe has a better plan for me. And I need to allow it to unfold instead of getting in its way. And to clarify the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, we have the Six of Cups. Yeah, the Six of Cups is usually, people from your past coming in to help you. It can also be the card of ancestors. Maybe doing some ancestor work, or alternately allowing the people from your past, your friends, your family, a second chance, or allowing their input to influence your life a little bit. obviously, be careful, make sure everyone has your best intentions at heart, that kind of thing. But I think looking back, you might find that you shut a lot of people out because they didn't want for you what you wanted for you, or their opinion differed. They saw the world in a different way, and you might have shut them out because it did not fit your perfect understanding of the world. And in this lifetime, your goal may be to come to terms with the fact that you simply don't know anything. None of us knows anything. Everything that we think we know comes from our perception of the world. It comes from things that we have been taught or things that we have picked up by watching other people. We don't know anything. And I personally believe that that is the way to approach any situation, because it keeps you wide open to serendipity, to new ideas, to the feeling of excitement towards the unknown rather than fear of the unknown. I think I just had a massive download. I think the main reason people fear the unknown is because they worry that it will change them, that it will change their understanding of reality. And when you instead challenge your own understanding of reality constantly, when you get into the habit of agreeing that you don't really know much, that everything you know is a very limited perspective on the world, there is nothing to fear because you don't really have much to lose in terms of your worldview. Oh, that's powerful. Okay, so next we have justice in reverse. Interesting. And to clarify that, we have the Seven of Pentacles in reverse as well. I think your current life might be filled with lots of challenges, things that just really are not fair, that are not going your way, to a point where you might find that you're not even able to put down roots, really. Where you're not able to make or save, rather, money. There might be something that happened that has kind of caused you to go into this sense of there is no justice in the world, or things will just never go my way, or I will never be free of other people, I'll never be free, I'll always be chained to my circumstances, that kind of thing. And man, I feel like my mind is just so scattered when I'm reading for you, pile number 2. Are you feeling that? Is that like a thing that you're currently dealing with? Is the feeling of just having a scattered brain? Justice is Libra energy too. And there's a lot of earth and some water and air and fire. Okay, so justice in reverse obviously talks about injustice or a lack of balance, really. And to have it clarified by the Seven of Coins in reverse, there might be some sort of force that is draining your ability to save. I mean, you might literally be paying off debts and that kind of thing. But because of that, I feel like somewhere you've forgotten your youthful energy. And I think this lifetime specifically is kind of like a humbling experience. I think in previous lifetimes you might have gotten carried away with your intellect, and you might even have hurt people with your thoughts or your words and your view of the world. You know, in the past, lots of people have done lots of things using just their words, just their letters, just, and in this lifetime, it might be like a karmic thing. But also, I think you are learning that your words, your actions, your power, it has consequences. And that's where other people come in. I'm surprised the Tower card isn't here. I do feel you've been through like a pretty big Tower moment fairly recently. And you've had to rely on people. And I think that's what's bothering you, is you've had to ask for emotional support. And with your kind of hyper independence, I think that must have bothered you to no end. Well, number 2. But it's okay. It's okay. We all need people. And this is also a message to self. So don't worry, I'm not judging you. But you might have something to do with like the legal system that might be draining your finances, that kind of thing. But the point is, this definitely feels like a very karmic lifetime for you, where you are working through some very tough cycles. And I think your purpose in this life might be just to allow these things to happen. Stop trying to control them, because you simply can't. It is not something that's going to change if you just work hard enough. It's not something that will go by quicker if you just push and push and push. Maybe this lifetime is this stage of your journey, but you just have to sit back and allow things to follow their natural course. And I can already feel your stubbornness kicking in. But, that's why we have these kinds of lessons, is so that we can face our shadow aspects and work through them instead of working from them. So let's go ahead and look at your oracle cards, actually, because I'm really interested to see what comes out. So first, let's look at these 2 cards, which will tell us the gifts that you're coming into this lifetime with. So for our first card, we have I Remember. Soul Plan, the fated life versus the destiny life. I think you are very, very spiritually gifted. I think you are very, very psychically aligned. You might have had lots of supernatural experiences in your life, and it might have either like spooked you to a point where you don't want anything to do with it, or it might have become so commonplace that you just don't care anymore. And in either case, I feel like you've willfully disconnected from your spiritual gifts. But I think as things are moving right now, as things are going, I do think that you will get to a point where you indulge in these gifts again, in your soul, in your spirituality. And learn that there is more than all of this. There is more than all of this. I think you might have lived most of your life in a very divine masculine sense, which is, structure, responsibility, timetables, doing external stuff. And as you go through this life, you will be invited more and more to indulge in the feminine aspects of grace and softness, the unknown, spirituality, psychic powers, that kind of thing. And I think part of you will absolutely hate it because you don't want to look at it. Because, there might be residual fears, there might be fears of the unknown, that kind of thing. But I think whether you like it or not, you're going to have ascensions. You're going to grow spiritually. You're going to be forced to face your gifts and face your purpose. You're going to remember, whether you like it or not. And the next card we have is play. Have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious. I think you are a very playful person. Despite all the things that have happened, you still find it in you to go back to this youth, this energy of everything is possible. Or if not, you will eventually get back to that stage of everything is possible. You're a fun person who has been through a lot. That's kind of what my takeaway is from this reading. But I think this excitement, this love of life is something you've brought with you into this lifetime. It's just a little hidden. It's just something you need to remember. You may have lost it along the way, but that's okay. It will always come back to you. Because it's not something you've picked up in this lifetime. That youthfulness, that exuberance is something your soul has remembered across time and space. So it's okay. It'll come back to you. So let's look at some advice from some animal spirit guide cards. We have the grasshopper spirit in reverse. Take a leap of faith. Where in your life are you lacking faith? Or what have you ever considered what faith might mean? In not just in, the context of religion or anything like that, but in context of your life. What does faith mean to you? What does it mean to have faith that things might work out in your favor? What might it mean to want something with the faith that it will come to you? These are things to ponder. And we have the parrot spirit in reverse. Watch your words. What did I say about you understanding the true impact that your words have? Yeah, let's read this one from the book actually, because that one was a nail on the head. So, parrot spirit protection message. Are you aware of what you're saying to yourself and others? Parrot spirit shows up as a reminder to notice the words that flow from your mouth, your pen, and your keyboard. Be mindful of the beliefs you have internalized. Are you communicating with integrity? Your voice has power, and you can change the conversation in your heart and in the world around you. Parrots represent the law of praise, so you are called to speak the truth and speak with love. So that's your message, pile number 2, about your inner purpose based on the Akashic Records. If this resonated, please do remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. It helps the channel out so much. Thank you so much for taking some time to spend with me today and to share your energy with me and to let me read for you. I really appreciate it. And I really hope this reading brought you a bit of clarity, a bit of support. Stick around to the outro for another reading on my channel. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye. Pile number 3. Hello, welcome to your reading about the Akashic Records and what they have to say about your soul's inner purpose. So if you picked this gorgeous garnet stone, then this is the reading for you. So I've gone ahead and pre-shuffled your cards, and the way I've done it is that these first 4 cards will tell us about your soul's purpose in general, across time and space, across several lifetimes, be it on this planet, in other dimensions, just your soul's general purpose, wherever it goes. Then these cards will tell us about your soul's purpose in this specific lifetime. Why did you incarnate in this time, on this planet, in this space? Okay, and then with the oracle cards, we'll first look at the gifts that you bring into this lifetime. And then we'll look at some advice on how you can go about achieving your soul's highest purpose. Okay, so I'm really excited. Let's dive right in. Oh, also, I should probably mention that yours was the most chaotic shuffle of all. So do with that information what you will. I just thought I'd mention it. So to start with, we have the Hierophant. Oh, speak of chaos. You are the order. You are the authority of the cosmos, Pile 3. You are someone who makes the rules, sticks to the rules, expects nothing but the absolute best. Oh, I'm a little intimidated by you, Pile 3. What's going on? I think you're someone who brings order across the universe. You're someone who brings meaning and structure to the chaos that is life. Be it on this planet, in this dimension, be it in like a completely different light system, whatever it is. You bring function to what is simply structure. It's like, I don't know if any of you guys are in med school or doing like a biomedical degree, but the way I like to think of it is the difference between anatomy and physiology. Anatomy is simply the structure, but physiology puts that structure to use. And I think you are that kind of person. Not only do you appreciate the fact that there are certain aspects of life that are simply the way they are, you find a way to put that to good use. And you get your work done. You get things done. Oh, you don't mess around, Pile 3. And that may be why the cards were so chaotic, is because I was messing around. I was shuffling them, and I feel like if I had simply just let the deck be and picked out the first 4 cards, it would still come out the same. Because I think you know what you want and you don't compromise. Oh, do you hear that? Did you hear the bike? Yeah, that's that confirmation. To clarify, we have the King of Cups. You are not unkind when you make these demands, when you ask these things of life. I don't think it comes from a place of malice or self-centeredness or anything like this. I think you do have the collective good in mind when you travel through space and time. You do have everyone's highest good in mind. But you don't compromise, you don't take prisoners, you don't like being told that this is not possible, because you will make it possible. But in a sweet, gentle way, in a way that uplifts people rather than cuts them down. Oh, that's sweet. Next, we have the Nine of Wands in reverse. I don't think you're someone who burdens people with your needs or your wants or your goals at all. I think you are very happy to do the work yourself. You just need it done a certain way. And you have done through all of your lifetimes. Yeah, I think you can be quite critical, especially of yourself. And you might even see this aspect of yourself as a burden. But it is what keeps the world going, is when people like you demand nothing but the best. When people like you refuse to compromise, is when you bring out the best in, well, humanity in this case, but in civilization as a whole. And to clarify the Nine of Wands in reverse, we have the High Priestess. There is always a divine order that you like to stick to. There is this innate wisdom inside of you that demands things to be a certain way because that's how it works best. You will want, okay, say now, you're sorting out furniture for your home. You'll know exactly what you want and where you want to put it because you understand that it will best serve you in that position. And I don't think you're fixed in the sense of stubborn, even though the Hierophant is the Taurus card, which is fixed earth, which is like the most stubborn you could stubborn. But I don't think you're fixed in the sense of everything will always stay this way forever. I think you are quite open to change as long as it's change that you create. And I think that may have been a source of conflict in a lot of your lifetimes, is this feeling of change, but in a controlled way. As long as I'm not blindsided by things, as long as I'm not blindsided by the unexpected. And you are a driving force. You do not like taking the back seat. And when you are pushed into the back seat, I think is when you have moments of conflict. Pile number 3. So let's go ahead and take a look at your purpose in this lifetime. So to start with, we have the 3 of Cups. Celebration, friendship. You might have a massive social circle. Massive social circle. So many friends and so many reasons to celebrate as well. In this lifetime, you are meant to have fun. You are meant to enjoy what this planet has to offer rather than constantly sticking to this idea of this is the way things are supposed to be. You are meant to frolic. You are meant to be the kind, once again, my leafies are in the way, sorry about that. You are meant to enjoy the little things. And it's almost like you don't want to see this because now that I moved the leaf, there is so much glare. It's almost like you don't want to, you don't want to frolic. You want things to go your way and that's it. But that's not how any of it works. That's not the natural order, even though you are convinced that it is. Because you are convinced that you understand the order of how things should be. But the only natural order out there is randomness, is free will. Things are gonna happen the way they want to happen. In fact, I feel the reason you may have chosen to watch this reading is because you're hoping that I will tell you there is a fixed outcome to your life. when there isn't. We make every single day what it can be. Every day is filled with an infinite potential, and it can go any way you like. But I think you want me to tell you that there is a certain way things have to be done, and every single thing that you have planned is going to come out exactly the way you expect it to. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm not going to tell you that because it's just not true, and I don't want to lie to you. You have to leave room for serendipity. You have to open yourself up to the unexpected, because that is where magic happens, because that is where you find opportunities to celebrate. But to clarify the Three of Cups, we have the Chariot in reverse. Yeah, slow down. Stop being in such a rush to get everything done all the time. I think you might be the kind of person who has like restless leg syndrome. You refuse, or you're just incapable of sitting still. You're constantly thinking, constantly planning, constantly worrying about what are the things I haven't done that I need to be doing right now. What can I control? There is some serious control issues. I'm not gonna lie to you. Pile number 3. And in this lifetime, you are meant to learn that you cannot control every outcome. You cannot control every situation. And in fact, you shouldn't. You shouldn't want to. That's the point. You should be happy to celebrate the here and now instead of constantly living in the future, or in the past for that matter. Next, we have the Ace of Cups in reverse. I do think you struggle with a lot of feeling emotionally unfulfilled or emotionally chaotic. Maybe that's why the cards were so crazy when I was shuffling them. You might feel very unfulfilled in this lifetime. And it's not because you haven't lived a full life, is the point. It's because your expectations of life are so specific and so unwavering that it's almost to your detriment. And the only reason that you feel emotionally unfulfilled or emotionally robbed of joy, I've never said that before, almost like someone has stolen your happiness, is not because someone has stolen your happiness. It's because you tie happiness to productivity. You tie joy to a specific outcome. And if that doesn't go exactly the way you want it to, you feel incapable of being happy almost. I think that is definitely a big part of your purpose in this life, is to start to equate joy and love and excitement to things that are not rigid. But to clarify the Ace of Cups in reverse, we have the Seven of Cups. This usually talks about, illusion, but I want you to look at it as options. There is so much in this world. There is so much in this world that you can explore, that you can have happen to you. And yet you seem almost obsessed with a specific outcome. But do you see the number of water cards there are here? This is Pisces, this is Cancer. These are all water cards, the King of Cups. And yet I think you are so stuck in your earth energy that you are not even seeing any of this. And so it's no wonder that you feel this sense of like, oh, I wish I had done more with my life. No. The reason you feel that is the reason you feel that. It's always like a circular argument, is you feel unfulfilled because you feel unfulfilled. I don't even know if any of that makes sense. But I think you have certain rigid expectations of where you should be in life right now. And life is specifically, purposefully not panned out that way in order for you to learn this lesson. Interesting. I feel like I'm lecturing you. I'm so sorry, Pal 3, but I'm just relaying the messages the way they come out. But let's take a look at your oracle cards, actually. So let's start by taking a look at what gifts you are bringing into this lifetime. So first we have your life is a canvas, artist, manifestation, creative, accountability. I think you might be someone who has a lot of creative gifts, but because they don't fit into this structured ideal that you have of life, you may not have indulged in them very much. But the other thing is creative accountability, is understanding that whatever these things are, whatever life you've lived, at least so far, is a creation of your highest self. And in saying that, accepting and working through this, working through the idea of maybe external situations haven't caused me to be unsatisfied, maybe it's internal situations. I think that will do you a great deal of good. And we have boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? Oh, yeah. And this isn't just boundaries with other people. I do think you also need to establish some solid boundaries with yourself. I feel like you're a ruminator. You might be someone who ruminates over all of your negative thoughts, over all the bad things that have happened to you constantly over and over again, because that is comfortable. It is familiar. And I think one big boundary you need to set yourself is to not allow yourself to live in that past. I follow a lot of therapy accounts on Instagram and YouTube and stuff. And one really interesting technique to stop overthinking that I heard a therapist mention was to schedule in overthinking time. Say every day, 5 to 6 p.m., I'll let myself overthink, catastrophize, do whatever. But the second the clock hits 6, I'm done. And hopefully over time, if you try this, I don't know if it will work for you. It might do. But over time, hopefully you'll be able to go just without overthinking, without catastrophizing. It's just something to try out. But yeah, definitely boundaries. I don't know if this is so much a gift as it is just advice. Both of these are mostly just advice. I feel so preachy with this reading. That was not the intention. Anyway, let's look at these cards, which are supposed to be for advice, but I have a strange feeling they're going to talk about your gifts instead. But let's see. We have the horse spirit. Freedom is yours. I think you feel trapped. And the irony is you've created your own trap around yourself by enforcing all these structures, all these demands of yourself that you don't even need to enforce. You don't need these things. But I feel you've created the structure because you worry. You're afraid of what you will be like without any rules. I don't think you've ever seen yourself fully free. And that scares you a little bit because, well, it is the unknown, right? But also, you are afraid of what you might be capable of. But with the horse spirit, freedom is yours. Freedom, I feel like saying freedom is your birthright. And if you come from a country that was, colonized, then this might be ancestral healing that you need to do. Because your ancestors fought for you to have freedom today. And in allowing yourself to be free, you would be respecting them more than anyone else. But, we are our ancestors, and our ancestors lived through us, all of that, yes. But I feel like you're the kind of person who needs an external reason in order to do some healing. So there's your external reason. Give yourself freedom to make choices that don't go along with your structure because your ancestors deserve it. And the final cards we have is Turkey Spirit. Give with gratitude and grace. Interesting. Let's go ahead and read this one from the book, the Turkey Spirit, because I'm trying to figure out how it fits in with your reading. Maybe it's just like a random piece of advice, but let's see. 61. Turkey Spirit, give with gratitude and grace. Turkey Spirit's message for you is that you always have the potential for manifesting a rich reality. For the turkey represents generosity and a celebration of abundance through giving to others. Give freely without expectation, and you shall receive. For the manifestation of abundance is happening right now. Give with gratitude and grace from a wellspring of love and compassion, knowing that Spirit will respond by giving you all that you need in this moment and all moments to come. So that's your Akashic Record reading, file number 3. Very interesting. But if this resonated, please, of course, do remember to like, comment, subscribe. It really helps the channel out a lot. And thank you so much for spending some time with me, sharing your energy with me, and allowing me to read for you today. I hope this reading brought you a bit of clarity and support. Stick around to the outro for another reading on my channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!